Hello and welcome to the session on functions of guidance. The functions of guidance are varied and multifaceted. It is very difficult to isolate it from a web of other issues, and any attempt to do so will end up in creating partial pictures and distorted realities. The complex interaction of many issues must be understood carefully to come up with a picture which makes sense. It requires certain theoretical frameworks and practical techniques. Any program of education, whether expressed through guidance or otherwise, requires certain concepts, certain ways of thinking to give it meaning and purpose. Guidance programs are built upon a foundation of such concepts. This foundation is only become visible through the successful development of the individuals. These foundations are implicit in the educational process. It can be easily deduced that theories of guidance must precede the practice of guidance. The philosophy of guidance is an element of the philosophy of education and also the philosophy of free society, out of which both functions appear. The following considerations appear to be indispensable to the guidance effort. A comprehensive guidance program will have clearly defined functions, and it would be accountable through the attainment of concrete goals. Such a program will be developmental, systematic, and sequential in nature. With its focus on proactive and preventive aspects, guidance promotes learning. This is not only limited to classroom, but extends to the notion of learning to a lifelong process. To put it broadly, guidance imparts skills that are essential for success in life. Guidance programs employ strategies to enhance academic achievement, career awareness, employment readiness, self-awareness, and communication skills. Thus, guidance addresses and helps to integrate the many facets of life such as academic development, career development, personal and social development. Achievement in each of these areas demands variety of learning competencies, specific knowledge, skills, and character traits. Guidance laid a strong foundation that helps to acquire these traits, characteristics, and skills. The functions of guidance can be broadly classified into two: social functions of guidance and personal functions of guidance. This might sound a bit contradictory given the integration function of guidance, which imagines a smooth combination of personal and social needs, which helps for the overall effective functioning of the individual. But at the operational level, this classification helps. The social ideas behind guidance can act as the broader functions of guidance, and the personal needs appear as the immediate goals guidance tries to achieve. The present chapter divides the discussion of the purpose and usefulness of guidance along these lines and come up with functions and goals of guidance. Where functions deal with the social aspects of guidance and goals deals with personal manifestations of the need for guidance. Social functions of guidance. Guidance as a national mission. The goals of the culture generally and of the local community specifically form the basic foundations upon which the philosophy of guidance is based. Any examination of guidance practices will bear out this viewpoint. Guidance was given its major impetus by the needs of a society transformed by industrial advancement. When traditional methods of education proved no longer adequate to deal with the problem, other methods were brought in to meet the pressing demands made by industry and business generally. Educational opportunity for every citizen has become a cherished belief. It is this larger dream which guidance seeks to translate into reality. Guidance as respect to individuality. The central point of a philosophy of guidance is in a modern society is respect for the worth and dignity of each individual. This includes the respect for his or her right to grow and to make choices according to his level of maturity or acceptance of responsibility. Guidance must therefore provide personal opportunities for growth and development, even for those individuals who, for one reason or another, vary from the accepted norms. A democratically oriented guidance program, however, will recognize the uniqueness of each individual and will make certain that each one is provided with the opportunity to learn to whatever limits are possible to him. There is in education, which is a systematized institution, the necessity for observing sufficient uniformity of procedure to make possible mutual understanding and agreement. This need brings up the problem of how to define individualism and where and how to provide for it within the framework of social acceptability. Guidance makes possible a program of education in which both individuality and conformity within the context of equality not only are recognized but are encouraged. There is a direct connection between individual welfare and the purpose of democracy. Guidance as personal work. While guidance concepts and practices are integral parts of the educational effort, they are also unique and definable. Education is considered as a total process whereby the young are prepared for future roles in democracy. Guidance, when imagined as pupil personal work, provides certain services and functions which are distinct and differentiated from the other two areas of the educative process, instruction and administration leadership. Guidance has been found to function most effectively when its purpose and specialized areas are understood and respected by those involved in its progress. It is a personal service where the human interactions create a desired effect upon the environment and on other human beings. In that sense, guidance is an intimate and interpersonal process of providing a positive environment for growth and actualization of potentials. Guidance as study of behavior. To plan a course of action for someone or urge him or her to do so without any idea of their behavior is both unscientific and unprofessional. So, guidance can be viewed as an attempt to study human behavior scientifically. Guidance, in line with the tenets of science, generally assumes that behavior is based upon a cause and effect relationship. Through the method of science, guidance seeks to understand and predict individual behavior. In so doing, individual differences are emphasized and the person remains the focus of interest. Research has demonstrated that behavior is subject to analysis and prediction. Scientific method is the key instrument of the guidance effort. While there are no categorical definitions of either science or its method, its rationale is unquestioned. It presents an effort to derive objectively and systematically facts concerning the human being and the world in which he functions. Research in guidance is an effort to appraise the individual so that understanding and predicting the behavior is possible. Guidance as development. Imagining guidance as development involves two different functions. First one is the prevention of breakdown, and second is the actualization of potentials, or in other words, growth. The emphasis in guidance, as has already been pointed out more than once, is prevention of impairment to maturation rather than correction after such impairment has already taken place. This principle cannot be too warmly defended in any area of education. Untold resources in human effort and money have been used up because help was too little and too late. Both scientific and social disciplines have demonstrated that it is possible to so guide human conduct that breakdown is prevented. Coincidentally, no area of medicine is now more honored than preventive medicine. If good preventive guidance principles are practiced, optimum development of the individual will result. Guidance, as does all of education, assumes that behavior is modifiable, that each person can grow, change, or improve in the direction of increased maturity. Where there is not so, that is, if behavior could not be modified, education would have no rationale for its existence. Education, by definition, is concerned with change. Guidance is means whereby such a change can take place on a personal level. Research demonstrates how enriched environments have even in some cases helped raise IQ scores. Guidance emphasizes the establishment of those conditions which provide room for optimum growth and development. Guidance believes that each individual, according to his or her maturity, is responsible for his or her own behavior. Here, development is not treated as maturity achieved with the increase in the chronological age or as a cumulative function, but as growth that responds to every aspect of human behavior. Guidance as leadership. Strong administrative leadership is essential to ensure proper guidance services and their integration in the total educational process. There is no substitute for administrators who not only know how, but why and where guidance is moving. Since a serious shortage presumably will exist for some time, the short-term answer is in the guidance-minded administration. The cooperative nature of guidance points up the need for leaders who have won the respect of their colleagues by virtue of their competence in attitude. The good administrator, depend as he is on the support of the staff, will thus see that they too must be effectively trained for jobs. So, within the execution of guidance itself, one can find the presence of leadership. A good guidance program makes people aware of the problems confronted in a particular situation and how to act on a situation that would result in the overall good of the people involved in the situation, which is leadership in other words. Goals of guidance. Guidance helps to achieve improved self-concept. Self-concept is the umbrella term that defines the ways in which the individual sees himself. The self can be viewed as a person's conscious view of himself as distinct from his environment. This view is decisive in perceiving, understanding, and responding to the external environment. The concept of self cannot be reduced to behavior. It stands out from the standard definitions which define human personality as the sum total of behavior. Guidance through conducting personality assessment and sharing such insights with the individual provides a better access to one's own patterns of adjustment and maladjustment and helps for a realistic self-appraisal. This process enhances the advancement of a better self-concept. Guidance results in better academic achievement and improved learning abilities. Academic achievement is not only restricted to the marks scored in competitive exams. That of course is an indicator of academic achievement, but a broader and comprehensive understanding of academic achievement involves the proper development of different abilities such as scholastic abilities, numerical abilities, and linguistic abilities. In the same vein, learning too can be defined as the ability to respond to the needs of the environment. Though within the classroom context, learning has very narrow definitions. Guidance comes out of such limitations and takes learning in the right spirit of the word. A related theme would be success in the school. This again is not limited to the exam results. It has more to do with effective peer group interaction, leadership, and organizing abilities, etc. Another important goal of guidance is instilling the habit of planning, which shows goal-directed behavior. The ability to plan is an indirect indicator of mental health, growth drives, and striving for development. If all these impulses are intact, the individual can assess the past failures realistically, can make picture of the resources and obstacles in the present environment, and can come up with an action plan for the future. The guidance program, through assessing individuals' capacity and aspirations in an objective way, can show the gaps between these two and can help the individual to make plan that would reduce the gap between these two. Another important goal of guidance is generating career awareness. Given the importance occupational decisions enjoy in our society, this topic requires an in-depth discussion. Such a discussion would be provided in the coming chapters. What is suggested here are the broad themes and conceptual frameworks that define career guidance. Guidance as a scientific and objective endeavor employs tests and measurement techniques to understand and analyze the career orientation of the individual. It tries to assess the aptitude, attitude, and interest of the individual in different areas of functioning. Through analyzing the data obtained through such testing measures, a trained guidance worker can create awareness in the individual. A usual mistake which a guidance worker can help rectify is the mismatch between the interests and needs. There can also be differences of opinion among parents and children in which way to go when presented with career-related choices. Another important goal of career guidance is generating habits that lead to better organizational capacities and time management. These skills are essential in becoming capable of dealing with the increasing levels of responsibility in an individual's life. It has been observed that underachievement in most cases is a problem emanating not from lack of potential, but from lack of time management and planning. Setting up a clear goal and devoting quality time towards the achievement of that goal is essential for success. Managing time is a strenuous task for many, and the directions of a guidance worker can help immensely in achieving this goal and in turn contributes to the overall success of the individual. Next important function of guidance is creating and maintaining rewarding interpersonal relationship. Interpersonal relationships are crucial in the social development and growth of the individual. The social networks of the individual should widen with age. An individual starts with the familial networks and slowly widens it through classroom and to other social networks and organizations. Guidance can help in the process through helping the individual in resolving the crises that emerge at different points in this interaction. The last goal is the cumulative effect of the successful resolution of all other above mentioned goals. This is the most important goal. This last goal can be represented as the development of self-knowledge. The idea of self-knowledge is different from the idea of self-concept, which we discussed in the beginning. Self-knowledge deals with the higher levels of understanding and comprehension of one's role in the society and among other people. It shows the well-integrated individual who functions effectively in the society. Self-knowledge gives the person a feeling of meaningfulness in his thoughts and actions and makes him or her better functioning individual in the society. At the individual level, they would feel more satisfaction, and at the societal level, such people always can act as buffer zones, reducing tensions and conflicts in the social fabric. Conclusion. The above discussion points towards the fact that the primary function of guidance can be considered as attempting integration between the natural environment, the cultural environment, and the social environment. The natural environment is the physical medium that surrounds human beings. The cultural environment is the domain of meaning and mediation human beings produce while interacting with the physical environment. The social environment is the system and organizations that help to mediate the above-mentioned layers of existence. Guidance through providing adequate means of communication to negotiate with these three forms of environment helps the individual to arrive at some sense of the world he or she inhabits and thus contributes to the development of the person. It is the development not restricted to growth or maturation. It points towards the various factors that are essential to provide an adequate environment that would facilitate initiating and maintaining suitable conditions for the optimum development of the child. It addresses all facets of society that are involved in child rearing, directly or indirectly. It does not restrict the responsibility to the biological parents, rather treats it as a social or cultural or a community's responsibility. Guidance is not just information sharing or skills imparting regarding child care and development. It is more about inculcating the right attitude about child rearing practices. Only this integrated approach that does not merely seek to apply some techniques, but to look at the issues at stake seriously can contribute to the transformation of a child as dependable and responsible citizen. Let us summarize the major points in this session. The functions of guidance are varied and multifaceted. It is very difficult to isolate it from a web of other issues, and any attempt to do so will end up in creating partial pictures and distorted realities. A comprehensive guidance program will have clearly defined functions, and it would be accountable through the attainment of concrete goals. The social functions of guidance are divided into 6. They are guidance as national mission, as respect to individuality, as study of behavior, as personal work, as development, and as leadership. The goals of guidance are also varied. Guidance helps to achieve improved self-concept. Guidance results in better academic achievement. Guidance can induce goal-directed behavior. Guidance helps to create better career awareness, time management, and generate better organizational capacities. Guidance is helpful in creating and maintaining rewarding interpersonal relationship. The last goal of guidance is the cumulative effect of all the above mentioned goals. It is the attainment of self-knowledge. Now, you can try to answer the given questions here. What are the major functions of guidance in education? What are the goals of guidance in education? Why guidance is necessary in a society? Explain the concept guidance as personal work. What is meant by the concept guidance as study of behavior? What is the ultimate goal of guidance? Now you can go through these books for reference. Guidance in Today's School, Mortensen G. Donald and Schumuller Allen. 1962, published by John Wiley & Sons, New York. Guidance in Classroom by Strank, Ruth and Morris Glynn, 1964, published by Collier and Macmillan Limited, London. Hope that you have enjoyed the session. We'll meet again with another topic. Till then, take care.